Hi, my name is Doreen Rivera, and I am a community outreach specialist for the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And with me tonight is Deputy Rob Richards from the Sheriff's Office. So
somebody drank all the coffee.
He's your, he's the important things, but I'm sure you all know him. So one of the things, before we get talking, one of the things that we really want, since we're talking about kind of neighborhood watch, what's going on in your area, things like that, we have a few different areas to cover. But one thing that's really important for communities is making sure you guys know each other or know each other, live on the same street, in the same area, whatever. So tonight, before you leave, I'm sure there's people here you don't know. Before you leave, meet somebody that you don't know, because Gaston's not that big of a community. You should try to know everybody, as many people as you possibly can. So, just a quick background. I feel like I've been in law enforcement my whole life because my dad was a deputy sheriff at the sheriff's office for his whole career, and I used to be an Explorer Scout with the sheriff's office. And then I did private loss prevention for a while. Then I was an officer with Hillsborough Police for a few years, and then I moved over to the sheriff's office about 15 years ago doing the community outreach. So, I've kind of been in it from an early age, just from the influence of my father. So tonight we're here because I understand you guys have been having an issue with car break-ins, possibly, I'm not sure about other things. And so that's why I kind of want to get an idea who all in here have been victims of car break-in. Raise your hand. Okay, all right. Sure, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's one. How about any outbuildings, burglary type things, vandalism? Okay, you guys tell me, what other concerns do you have or that you have seen that kind of helped bring you here, brought you along?
Multiple vehicles coming and going with different things in the back of the pickup trucks doesn't look right. The neighbors up the road have things removed from their property against their will. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious, has the county seen a rise in any instances? Are there more calls than normal?
No, I don't think so. Different times of the year, we'll get more calls. The wintertime typically is when we get more like alcoholic DUI, domestic violence type of calls, especially around the holidays. Summertime is when we typically see more car break-ins. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so we just had the big car break-in issue like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And outside of that issue, there was fairly large 4 or 5 cars actually in town that got hit. I can talk about that later too. But outside of that, the calls for service as far as inside the city limits go have stayed pretty flat. They're low numbers, so pretty flat, maybe down 1 or 2 a month, but pretty much.
What about outside?
Right. And because I didn't look, I know less to be able to answer that really quick for you. But now, are you out South Road by chance?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's an ongoing issue. And I did check as far as that goes, but outside a little farther, I'm not quite sure. From what I hear, going on, there has not been an increase, but don't. A week or so ago, there was a fellow down by the pumping station down here yeah. And I called the department, nobody was reporting, but I was that's what prompted my curiosity, is if we're seeing more homeless or vagrants laying in the driveway there. I backed up to see if he was okay. He looked at me and kind of flagged me on. So that
Was that an older gentleman?
No, he was probably in his 30s. So that vacant house just to the east of it, just past the pumping station, you can't really see from the road, but if you know it's there. That has been an off and on again camp for homeless folks. I go in there every other day, and I haven't found anybody recently, but for the longest time I was having to put it out and kind of keeping the circle going.
So these are all good things just to be aware, because yeah, things are suspicious. So let me ask you this: when you saw that guy, did you call it in, or did you?
I called the fire department here, but nobody was on board.
Okay.
At that time, like I said, look,
that, you know, he's sleeping somewhere. So you don't know if he's doing other stuff too, but I guess you just have to kind of go with your gut depending on what's going on. In that your example, you're seeing people come and go and come and go. You might want to talk to a deputy, you might talk to Deputy Richards more in depth and kind of pick his brain about that. Who lives there? What kind of stuff you're seeing? Do they go for just a few minutes and leave? So definitely you can talk to a deputy kind of in depth about it, and then they can kind of weigh in on what they think that might be. Especially if you at first when you said that I was thinking drugs, but then you were talking about they're taking stuff back and forth, and I mean there's so many people that like they buy stuff off the internet and then sell it. I mean you don't know. Could be a legit business, could not. But
what was his fine? I would much rather
yes.
get that call or have that in-face conversation about all this stuff and go find out that the guy's, I don't know, legally
Running a business
properly
or something.
dealing stuff on Craigslist.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine. Dispatch. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm trying to think.
I don't know if I do it still as far as work the town a lot like Mr. Hadid used to. Maybe I do a little different, but and I'm not saying he did, but I don't spend a lot of time in the office, and I do that on purpose. And not a lot goes police related goes on in the office.
Right.
But, I'll get emails or phone calls from the girls in the office saying, hey, somebody stopped by, they had this, which is fine, but if you're looking to want to make a report, it's cleanest, easiest, and it gets to me if it goes through dispatch.
So on the back table back there are there's some resources. This is our monthly Neighborhood Watch newsletter. On the back of this right here is the non-emergency dispatch number. So that's a good number to have. Put it in your phone or something and it's also on the little magnet police cars. It's on there too, but you either have to have a magnifying glass if you're my age or something to be able to see it. But that's the non-emergency dispatch number. So yeah, you can call and whether he's working, you can ask if he's working or that you need to talk to him, and then they'll get a message to him and he'll call you back, and then you can kind of explain. So that's for all of you when you have issues like that. Okay, we got 2 questions in the back. You first.
Now, does that cover the south end of Danville County too?
Oh.
Or the north end, I mean?
So it only covers Washington County. Yeah. So that's one thing is the counties are pretty separated. If there's a major incident going on though, then they both combine. They all go.
If it's a 911 emergency,
no, you're gonna stay here and listen to this. Where are you guys going? Duty calls. Right. Let's see. We have one back here first. Come up here, Steve. Do you guys all know former Deputy Steve Dean? If everybody doesn't know him, everybody knows Steve.
Who's related to him?
Get up here, Steve. Get up here. Get up here.
When you call dispatch, that creates an incident, which, I don't know, it used to be, or it's probably still, that you can put in a district or like Gaston, and it's like for over the weekend, and that would bring up all the incidents that happened in Gaston. Yep. So, say there was 2 car clouds, okay, he would know, but if you don't call, they don't know. And it's easy to make a phone call. Just I had a car. We used to call it car cloud. I had a car break-in, and car burglary, a car break-in, and then they'll send somebody out, or they'll have somebody call you if you don't want to meet with a deputy. But you got to get that incident started. So
and that's at the start of obviously I work either 4 or 5 days a week, and I work 40 hours a week. So there's a lot of hours where I'm not physically in town, all the leftover hours. But every day at the start of my shift, it's the first thing I do. I check every call for service that came into the city of Gaston. Some of them I just click away because there was nothing, and the deputy took care of it. Whoever took care of it, or they get on the computer, and they also still get, believe it or not, they get faxed to the station. So I'll deal with whatever needs to be dealt with for the crews when I'm not here. And I've heard people talk in town before, but I'm technically the city of Gaston pays Washington Sheriff's Office for 30 hours of coverage. So that means you have a deputy in town 30 hours a week. Clearly, that leaves a whole ton of hours where there's not a deputy in town. But what we need to remember is that for emergency situations, 911, life threatening, somebody, you're watching them break into your car, they're breaking into your house, you will get a deputy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One or more, however many you need. Now if it's a barking dog at 2 o'clock in the morning, you might just get a phone call, and you might not get somebody. So don't think that because I'm not in town, you're not getting police coverage. Sure, it might be a little slower. You might come from a little farther away, but you'll get somebody.
Find out what the call is. So here's a question. So if they how many people here live outside the city of Gaston? So if they have things, do they call you, or they just call dispatch and ask to talk to a deputy in general? If they,
You know what?
whatever.
You can go either way. If it's a question or concern, it's not something that's going on right now. You can call dispatch, and they'll decipher it as well. When you call dispatch, you start telling them why you called. If it's an emergency situation, they'll send you there. If it's not, hey, I got a question for Deputy Richards. I talked to him at the meeting, and I want to run a couple things by him. I don't care where you live, you can do that. No issues with that at all.
So we have visibility to those calls that come in from outside the city limits on a daily basis.
Do I see them?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Same exact system. We're all on. It's just who gets sent what is what divides it up. But yeah, I see it.
So the one thing we often see are people not calling in things. They either think, yeah, somebody stole my bike, I'm probably never going to get it back anyway, so what's the point? And they don't call it in. Or even if it's something minor, yeah, somebody destroyed my mailbox, who knows, kids, they don't report it. If you don't report it, it didn't happen. And so we are seeing things, and we need to know, just like, I still want to call you Deputy Hedin. Can I call you Deputy Hedin? Just like he mentioned, it starts not only a record, so that we can look back and say, you know what, there have been a whole rash of these mailbox vandalisms or break-ins or whatever it might be. It might seem really small and innocuous, but combined together, it could be a whole situation. Or maybe something happened to your house, and there was a burglary down the road or something, and maybe like you came home and found a bike in your yard. You're like, what the heck? And then you found out that somebody down the road, somebody stole a car, and somehow they tie together, whatever it might be. So that kind of stuff. If you came home and found a bike on your property, I would call it in, because you know what? Why is it there? It's not a kid. There are a lot of times bad guys ride around on bikes, and they may have just ditched it there and took something else, whatever. So again, it's really important to call all those things in. Again, you might not get a deputy for a little while, because the way the dispatch system works is it goes by priorities, and so all the priority 1s and 2s and the things going on that need police, fire, medical, all that kind of stuff, they're going to get it. But at some point, you will get contact. Somebody might call you, or it just depends on what it is. But it's not like they can look and go like, it's just Gaston, and I don't really want to. I'm not going to take this. They don't have that option. We take all our calls, so it just might take a little bit longer depending on what it is. So that's really important. Calling everything, and it creates a document and kind of a record of things going on here. And that's also how we do funding. If you guys had a lot more things going on, we see, boy, there's a lot more going on in Gaston. They might start assigning more deputies, or it could be that's where resources go when there's a big rash of something. That's where the resources are directed to. Question.
And we've got full resources of the sheriff's office out here. So it's me assigned to it, but if something's going on, I have access to everything. Detectives, whatever it might be, I can bring anything to the sheriff's office. So it's not just, luckily for you, it's not just me out here.
Question? Yeah.
Okay, we came home the other day, and that gate was open, but nothing was missing. Opened it that far.
And the only way to open it is like a person.
Yeah.
So obviously,
Well,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with calling in and just letting me know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's really as simple as that, you can come to at 316 First Street, and I came home, my back gate was open. I can't open with the wind or whatever. Can you just let Deputy Richards know? Or if you want to call, I'll call you, but just let me know, because I might be on a call 3 houses down with that bird.
your neighborhood. Maybe they opened your gate and went, yeah, nothing good here. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So, I mean, bad guys look for the easiest target too, so.
How many of you guys use the Gaston Citizen Info page on Facebook? Quite a few.
What is that?
So that's a community page set up by the citizens.
Uh-huh.
From anything from, hey, this event is tonight, oh my God, my car got broken into.
So it sounds very similar to next door, like the
Exactly.
next door thing. Oh, that's cool.
So which is a 10, and I will push you to continue to use that. But go a little further with it. Don't use it to report stuff. You know, I've seen comments on there. I do look at it. I don't monitor it. That wasn't it. So don't, hey, I've seen one. Hopefully there's nobody there. If it is, we're learning. Somebody put in there, hey, David Richards, if you're reading this, give me a call.
Right. Yeah.
And 9 days later, I look at it. Give him a call.
Right. Yeah. If you see.
Certainly, if you have the car broke into, you want to put that info in there, and third park, put it on there. That's excellent. So you got to let us know. And my
Go ahead.
my story that goes along with that. So, well, it was November 16th, Friday morning. We had multiple cars that were broken into along Church Street. I don't think any of you guys were here. So I started getting the calls, and at the same time, as I'm coming to go respond to the calls, 3 of them right off the bat. I look on that page, and people are starting to put on there already. Great, good info. So get all the information. Part of what got stolen out of an unlocked vehicle was a rifle, so it's kind of a big deal. Guns being stolen. So the comments start coming on that page, and somebody comments, "Hey, I'm up on Huntington Terrace, and I looked at my surveillance video and found a suspicious car. So I see somebody else, well, you need to call Deputy Richards." So that person did. So it's talking about neighborhood watch program. That person wasn't a victim, wasn't on their street. They just saw something funky on their video when they looked and checked it. Well, that solved the whole thing. It was a company vehicle, had a big, huge name on the side of it. I tracked down the company. The vehicle had GPS on it. So I was able to track everywhere they went, stole the stuff, identify them. One sitting in Yamhill County Jail and one we're still looking for. But it solved the whole thing.
Oh, good.
It was the world's greatest neighborhood watch social media example.
Yeah, and that's right. Driving a company vehicle. Did you get to ask your question yet?
We had a Prius with a luggage rack.
Oh, wow. What did you ask?
There was a 20-year-old back door. Of course, they were arrested.
Oh, good.
Fresh charges on that. One had driving late.
Was it your home or your business they were trying to break
It's
into?
my home.
Okay, yeah.
And there was time driving late, and there was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning coming through, and there was someone just walking, pacing back and forth. So I turned that one in. I kept full warmer said, what are you doing out here? Oh, I'm going that way and go home. Okay, so I flip on the block, come back, and go in opposite direction. So I'm like, that was where you going? Where's home?
Yeah.
That way, where you? So by the time they went up between the bar and the house, so I lost them up through there, and then the officers came by and said, where they at? There, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing on Mill Street where that bridge is going out. Maybe Richard and I have been talking about it, but there's people coming by on bicycles a lot, either with gas cans, ice coolers, or they're riding their bicycle in the dark, back and forth, or they're bringing the rigs with a bunch of people in the back of the truck, and then they get on, they scatter like cockroaches from the light on.
Yeah, they're probably filling up their coolers and stealing gas and going back to their camp. Probably.
Is it the first bridge right in front of you? No.
But there are camps. They're transients.
Yeah, not right there. In that tree line that runs west along the river. Good question. You know what? Yeah. So you're talking about Patton Valley West, you go south on Richmond, sitting way off in that field. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've seen it though.
You better go investigate. Find out what it is. Yeah.
But no, right here, sitting way back in the field, you can see that it looks like yeah. You don't think it is?
So with this kind of conversation we're having here, this is the kind of stuff that you should be doing with your neighbors in the neighborhoods on your page. That's an excellent avenue that you have. Because if one thing happens at your house, everyone in town needs to know, hey, I got this person got their car broke into. And maybe you saw a description of the person, or maybe you didn't, but everyone then is more aware, like, hey, there's somebody going around breaking into cars. Let's start paying attention to stuff. We have a new kind of campaign called the 9 p.m. routine where we're encouraging people 9 o'clock every night. If you stay up that late, mine would be the 8 o'clock routine. But it's like 9 o'clock, go out, make sure your car vehicle doors are locked, because that's another thing I want to mention. Deputy Richards told me that in all the cases of the car break-ins where people broke in, stole stuff, every single one of them, the car was unlocked. So would they just break your windows out? No. Well, they could.
No, right. It doesn't prevent them from getting in the vehicle, but a lot of these guys are keeping quiet because it's at night.
They don't want to draw attention.
So every car that this one on November 16th, every car that was broke into was unlocked. And then you could see him on the surveillance and ring cam videos that every car he attempted that was locked, he moved on to the next one.
Yeah.
So
and we
find it was a perfect case study.
Right. And we find that not only with the car break-ins, but also with house burglaries. There are more break-ins for both houses and cars of unlocked vehicle and houses than there are the locked ones. And again, because they don't want to draw attention and they want to make the easiest, they want to do the easiest in and out, not draw attention. So you might have your car locked, but if you left your purse in there or a wallet or something expensive, a laptop, yeah, they may bust the window because there's something. Oh, right. So that's the other thing. It's like, anymore, even if you're rural in this day and age, if you don't want to store it, don't leave it in your car. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. You can't leave stuff in your car. If there's no way around it at all, at least try to cover it. Put it in a trunk or somewhere where it's not visible. So, let's see. I was getting back to about just calling all those things in, but the one thing I'm going to mention about, I don't remember what you call it, your community page or whatever. Just be aware if somebody posts on there. What we see with Nextdoor commonly. And a lot of times those are bigger neighborhoods, but somebody will post something saying, oh, I saw a guy looking into car windows. Well, then they talk to a couple of neighbors, and then the neighbor posts like, oh my gosh, that 2 cars got broken into, and then they tell the story again, and pretty soon it goes through, and pretty soon it was 3 masked men broke into a house and tied up hostages. It grows exponentially. So if you start seeing posted somewhere, there were 4 burglaries in the neighborhood and 10 car breaks. Things that just seem really astronomical. Call Deputy Richards. You can call me. I'll leave some of my cards back there. We can go research and look and give you what the real story is, because I've seen some ridiculous. We call it the telephone game, basically, over social media now. And I've seen some really crazy things that they're saying, hey, I heard. I mean, this one where one woman said that in a Target store, somebody was following her in the store. That went to trying to kidnap her kid, to pouring a cup of urine on her child's head. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah, that's how the story morphed. So that's just be careful about it. When you see something that looks really outrageous, double check with Deputy Richards or me or somebody and say, is this really true? Did this happen? Most likely, if it's something really phenomenal, you'll all know anyway. There'd be a lot of activity. So, how many people in here are interested in setting up like a formalized neighborhood watch in your neighborhood? Okay, a couple of you. So there are some packets back there that talk about going through the steps to do it. And really, all neighborhood watches is a mechanism for you and your neighbors to communicate and know what's going on. And then we'll talk in here in a few minutes too about some things that are suspicious and what to call in. But a neighborhood watch, all that does is it's like they used to do in the old days, everybody talking to each other. So it's really important on your street or your neighborhood. First, you want to look and see, okay, how many houses do we want to include? How big of an area? Figure out on a map what your area is going to be. Talk to the people in there. Get everybody's contact information. People that don't want to be in it, that's fine. They don't have to be in it. We're still going to watch out for them and call in for them. if something's going on, but if they don't want to be involved, they don't have to. You can, in that packet back there, it's just a reference. You don't have to do everything in there. Flip through it. There's like, oh, if you want, you can put everybody's contact, everyone in the house, and every animal they have, and all this kind of stuff. But then you have to update it constantly. So if you want to put that, you've got the time and energy, and people are willing, knock yourself out. That's great. But you don't have to. You can keep it very, very minimal. Just have each other's emails, and especially cell phones. That's a really important one. And make sure you have your neighbor's cell phones, because your neighbor's gone into Hillsborough for the day and you see somebody walking around their yard, or you see somebody opening their back gate, or anything like that. Their house catches on fire. Their horses get loose. Whatever, you can call them and say, hey, and the prime example of that is when I was with Hillsborough Police. These two women had their houses were back to back, so their backyards were together. They were both older, and one of them was at work, and so the other one called her and said, hey, do you have a young guy staying with you right now? And she's like, no, why? Well, there's one walking around in your house. So she's like, yeah, they called 911. We came out, literally, our officer walked up and looked through the garage window and saw this guy shoving the proverbial pillowcase full of stuff. And then they caught him and discovered he'd broken into 3 other houses on that block that morning. So, but it's so important, even if the dog's running loose or your house catches on fire, it could be 100 different things that go on. You want to be able to contact them right away and let them know what happened. It's not just when they go on vacation. Of course, that too. If they go to the beach or they're on vacation, that's great. You have that. But it's so important that you guys talk to each other and communicate that kind of stuff. So as I said, you have a street or your little neighborhood watch, and something happens, everyone on your street needs to know about it. So they're watching out. And the bigger picture is the whole city of Gaston. Because that would be awesome if you have that many sets of eyes watching out for something or other. You can get those people that want to do the neighborhood watch. Once you can have people that help you. They're called block captains. It just depends on if you might only have 10 houses on your road, or you might have 50. It depends how big your neighborhood that you want to include is if you need help. And then besides the constant communication, you can set up like maybe it could be a listserv or some kind of email communication between you guys too, where you can share things. But the cell phone thing is important, so that if you see something that needs attention right away at 11 o'clock at night, maybe you can text them or call them. Maybe somebody's garage is up, and the one thing we were having a lot of house burglaries because people left their garage doors open, and then bad guys were coming in and all kinds of stuff. That's the other thing is if you're not in your garage working on it, keep the door shut, because some of these guys, they may just be passing through town or something, and the garage door's up, and they look in and gives them ideas. And maybe they weren't going that day to steal a Ski-Doo or whatever it might be, golf clubs, but as they passed by, they looked in and went, ooh, that looks good. I saw the question. It's, one of those watercraft things. I think that's brand new, but it gives them ideas. And so we have had more than one occurrence where people were in the backyard working, and somebody came in their open garage and stole stuff. So my neighbor, they're elderly, and we live, their house was right on a corner of a busy street. They didn't hear very well, and their garage door was open. Somebody backed into their garage and stopped their antique tractor and pulled away and drove away with it while they were home. They didn't hear a thing. So yeah, bad guys are brazen. They do all kinds of crazy stuff. So like I said, in this day and age, we have to watch out not only for each other but ourselves, and do our own due diligence of locking car doors. Lock your houses. If you're like, oh, we live in Gaston, it's a nice rural community, we shouldn't have to. Guess what? You do have to, because who knows? Oh, yikes. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Please tell me you called 911. Okay. Did you report it at all? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because she may be in somebody else's house. I guarantee she's going from that house to another house. She's probably looking for something to steal. Or Does she have mental health issues? Is she drunk? Is she high? Is she having a right? And still, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, just telling you what you just told us didn't happen. Didn't happen because you didn't report it. So that's we gotta report this stuff. We need to know about that stuff. Maybe you report it and so say you had and Deputy Richards or somebody else came and they go, oh yeah, it's Tammy again. She's got a warrant. She's got drugs. She's already broken into two other. They probably already know her and maybe they're looking for her. So and I guarantee you, yeah, she's gonna go from your house to another house and maybe she did something. So it's really, yeah, really important to report all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh.
They're like motorized, so
Oh.
what you ought to do is do a seat clamp on the rail itself, and that way with the louvers going across the sliding doors.
Even with the even with like new ones, you can open them.
Older ones you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just like my back. I have one of those doggy doors in my back patio slider, so you can't lock the door. But I guarantee you, I've got a stick in there, and there's no way you can open that door. And if you did, my dogs would eat you. So yeah, this is great ideas. You share this stuff on your page. If you have ideas like that, or you have a question. Hey, how can I secure my sliding patio door with a doggy door in it? How can I secure my garage door because it opens with a shovel? Somebody here is going to know and going to give you some feedback about what you can do. Anybody have any ideas for whatever it might be? Ask the question. Safety, security. There's a lot of knowledgeable people out here that can give you some good insight. And then, so are you on that page as well? Can you monitor it or see it?
So, I was gonna bring up this one. So, yeah, well, I think who's the here? All right, you're the one, you're over taking it over.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So currently all the posts, I don't follow it.
Oh, that's fine.
Just because it's I would be following it on my personal Facebook. I'm just weird that way.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do and what Doreen can help me with, because I've gotten some pushback, speak honestly amongst the group from the sheriff's office, is other contract cities that the sheriff's office have Facebook pages. So I'm trying to get a Washington County Sheriff's Office, City of Gaston Facebook page that would allow me to actively follow this kind of stuff. That would allow you guys to follow my page. And I can put posts, I can put updates. Again, you can't report stuff to me that way.
Right.
But it's a social media world.
Well, and it's a better way for you to be able to get.
So many of you folks use
Yeah.
the page that's there already. So I'm
So-
trying to get that. If you can,
Do our other contract cities have that? Is that what you're saying?
I couldn't stuff.
Okay. So you know what? This is great information for me to take back to the group and say they could loop you in a whole lot better, or maybe even you guys amongst yourself if you had a Facebook page.
You can follow the sheriff's office page, but that's giving you stuff going on in Bethany and Rolling Hills.
Right.
You might like to read it, but not a whole lot of interest in that stuff doesn't help you at all.
So
If I could get a City of Gaston, Washington County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, one, it would allow me to follow yours without putting my personal stuff to the public, and two, it would allow me to post that. I could post the information of these car caught suspects that I caught, and you guys might like to know that hey, your deputy is doing something.
that's it. Well, we'll talk about that because they may. That's what they may say. There's I don't know. There's like only limited people that are supposed to be posting stuff. So, like as it is, I used to all the time, but now I have to send my stuff to somebody for them to post. So that's the way it works. But so kind of getting back to the neighborhood watch program, if those people that are interested in like wanting to be like the captain coordinator for their neighborhood, talk to me afterwards, and we can kind of talk about doing a special meeting just for those people that want to set one up in their neighborhood and what kind of things you can do to go forward and work with us. And We put you on our distribution list for communications when things are going on. It's a little bit different though, because we send things like, oh, something's going on in Bethany. We would just have to know, I'd have to talk to Rob to figure out what's going on out here to alert you. We have plenty of stuff going on in the rural areas with the break-ins in outbuildings. There's lots of nefarious stuff that goes on with people's animals, and there's rural stuff that goes on all the time. So, one of the other things that I wanted to kind of talk about really quick are the difference between 911 and non-emergency. So, just in case there's people that don't know, 911 is going to be blood, death, mayhem. You need a deputy right there. You're seeing somebody, even somebody walking along looking in cars, trying door handles. That's somebody trying to break into cars. That's a 911 call. You see somebody peering into people's houses or into your neighbor's house. You know what? If you can call the neighbor and ask them, do you have anybody? We've had cases where somebody's going in through a bedroom window, taking the air conditioner, going through a bedroom window. Neighbor calls 911. Yeah, it's the son that got locked out. But that's okay. We need to know because it could very well be a burglar.
It's still a 911 call.
It's absolutely. So don't worry about it. The thing that people are so afraid about is like, well, I don't want to waste their time. It may not be anything. These dispatchers, that's their job. They do it 40 hours a week. They know what's suspicious and what's not. So call them and talk through it with them and let them, you have to definitely plead your case. If you know somebody that's, he has a history of molesting kids, you see him hanging at the park, doing things in his pocket, call. That's weird. That's 911. He's probably not supposed to be there, but talk. If you just say, yeah, there's a guy at the park and he's watching kids, and I don't like it. That's so vague. So you have to be specific about what's going on, especially if you know any history. But if you don't call 911, you can also call the non-emergency number. That's typically for things like you come out and you find out overnight your car got broken into, and there's nobody around. It didn't just happen. If your car alarm just went off and you ran outside at 2:00 in the morning and somebody's beating feet down the road, that's a 911 call, because hopefully some cars will maybe find him in the area hiding. Even better if they have a dog out this way, we'll find him. But maybe somebody's using your ID fraudulently. That's a non-emergency. So the non-emergency number. So it's just, again, those things where you need a deputy right away to come to, and those really serious, whether it's a car crash or burglaries or assault. If you're down in close to Yamhill County, they're going to be coming. We're going to be coming. State police may be coming. It's whoever is the closest, no matter what the agency they're in. They all come and help each other for those kinds of things. What else are you thinking of? Do you guys have questions about other things that are suspicious? So let me ask you this. Here's a pop quiz. Midnight. Somebody's running through your backyard, hopping over a fence and running. Should you call it in? They don't really do anything, but you know what? They're running, and they're probably running from him or something like that. So that's not normal. A lot of people, though, we talk to will say, well, he didn't really do anything. He just ran through my yard. Well, there's more to the story. He's running for a reason. How about this? Have any of you guys ever had a burglar at your house before? Oh, you have? Oh, yeah. It really makes you feel unsafe. How many people think more burglaries happen at nighttime when you're asleep? People sleep in the house. How about during the daytime? Absolutely. That's what it is. Do you know the first thing a bad guy's going to do if he wants to burglarize your house? Yes, you got it. He's going to knock on the door and see if anybody's home. If you open the door, maybe, you see the black dog, does Mike live here? Some lame thing you may not know. You might, whatever. But if you're not home, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to try the doorknob, see if it's unlocked. A lot of those things are unlocked. Then they're going to look under the mat for a key, over the top of the doorway, under the plant, all the little hidey places around your front porch where your spare key is. So if you have a spare key around there somewhere, maybe move it somewhere else where people won't see it. And what's that? Yeah, exactly, because people can't see it. So when my daughters I was a carpool mom, I would take these girls home from dance, and everyone I'd drop off and I'd watch someone run to the third brick over and get the key and unlock the door and go put it back. So if I knew where the spare key is, all their neighbors did, all the other carpool parents, anybody driving by, it was there. In Bethany the other day, I'm out for my walk and I see this guy come out of his house, put his key on the top of the doorway, and then go get his Mercedes and drive off. I'm like, well, I know where his key is, you know, and so don't hide anything right around there because it's just way too easy for people. Yeah.
Also, if you're gone and get papers, don't let them pile up.
Absolutely. If you're going to be gone, a few things. Let your neighbors know so that if they see a U-Haul pull up to your garage or something, they can call you and say, "Yeah, I'm moving." But yeah, and do they still deliver newspapers? Do you just get newspapers? Okay, yeah, so they're kind of fading away. I don't see too many newspapers anymore. But absolutely, mail, newspapers, any of that kind of stuff. You're going to be gone. Get one of those little timer things in your house to turn on and off different lights. Have your neighbor park in your driveway occasionally, especially if you're going to be gone for a length of time, like in the wintertime or summertime. Have somebody mow your lawn, make your house look lived in, all that kind of stuff helps so that people may think you're home. And I'm telling you, that driveway thing really works. When you're my neighbor, I kept trying to talk to them.
Porch lights on at night.
Absolutely.
My wife turns ours off at night.
What? No. Oh, that's the rest of the
Go
night.
ahead, you have to turn the lights off.
I almost forgot the 9 p.m. routine. It's lock up, so you go to check your vehicles, all doors in your house, lock up, lights on,
Yep.
turn on your porch light. What's the third one? Lock up, lights on.
And just
There's
think
only
of those
3.
calls, like I was saying earlier, there's so many resources I have the ability to access through the sheriff's office. If we start getting a lot of theft off of front porches and things from front yards, especially with the holiday season and Amazon being the largest business in the world, right? Close to it. I can get creative. I can bring out bait packages, packages with motion sensors, GPS, I can get all that kind of good stuff out there. What's that?
Right? Oh, I've heard of that.
Put the dog leftovers.
Oh yeah, here it is, 9 p.m. Lock up your car, your house, windows, garage, gate, shed. Turn on exterior lights. Take this home and show that to Pam. Exterior lights, security cameras, alarm systems. Bring in valuables from your car, your patio, or your front. I mean, you have to completely empty your patio, but don't leave really.
There's all these things that we're talking about that you can do that obviously are free, lifestyle habits and way of getting things done. I am be a police officer, a huge proponent for ring cam.
Yes.
You guys don't know about ring cam.
Oh yeah.
Look it up. There's an expense to it. I understand that, but it's just doorbell camera system that alerts your phone. It records the video. It is the clearest, most clear video. It's incredible. After these car break-ins that we had, that I was talking about, I went around town, slow rolling the entire town. I don't know if I went to anybody here's house. Yeah, looking to see who had these ring cams because they're kind of big. They kind of stand out by the door. And everybody had a ring cam. I'm knocking on the door. Hey, can you look at your ring cam for this night at this time? And we got stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's an expense, and you're not going to go out and spend money you don't have or whatever. But if you're thinking about any type of security system, I would get a $99 exam. And is there a service monthly?
$3 per camera.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Yeah.
And it also has a community page as well.
Oh.
So they also have a link to Gaston.
Oh, nice.
If I see suspicious activity on my camera, I can send it to everybody else in the community. So
That's cool.
We had somebody knock on the door, look through the window, and I can send it to everybody in Gaston. Look out for that.
It's such a great system. It's very uncomfortable for us. If I go up and knock on the door and stand there, and somebody's watching me on their cell phone right now.
Well, and the cool thing is, it notifies you while you're at work or at the grocery store or something, the activation. And so you can look and see who's at your door. And if there's somebody there, then you talk to them, like, can I help you? And they know they're on camera then. They're like, whatever.
It's a great system. In the world of security cameras and the old school mount on the corners of the home, it's so inexpensive and the quality is excellent.
Well, no, it'll depend on how you position it. I think.
You get a large view. And then, that's just the doorbell. I have a stick up camera.
Oh, cool.
So that's also really cool.
So,
yeah, you can set it to alert how far out from the house. If you digitally on your phone or whatever, set it up to only go to your grass because you don't want it to record every time a car goes by. Or you can have it catch the road so it will. Or, it's great. It's great. I get no kickbacks from Ring Cam, but
Great.
yet.
Oh,
What's that?
through your yard
Exactly.
or just out by it? Oh, I got it. Okay. Got it. So that's actually something I asked my husband for Christmas, was like a ring cam.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I want one of those. And the other thing is they're great, just like he mentioned, for investigative purposes. If maybe you were victimized, but if you have one of those, they might be able to see a car going by in the background in the street, or somebody riding a bike or walking by, or coming up and checking your car door and leaving and going somewhere else. And that's how they get a lot of information. Especially up in Bethany, like everybody has those. And so when they had a bunch of burglaries a couple of years ago, that we put something down. We asked for everyone in it was like a square mile area that had a ring cam to look at their cameras for this date overnight and see what. And a bunch of people sent in stuff where in the background of their camera you could pick up the street, the sidewalk, and they picked up some activity. So it's great. And so if you guys do have an incident, again, whether it's the system for the ring cam or whatever that communicates, or the page wherever, you can say, no, I wasn't burglarized, but I have a ring cam, so let people know if you have one of those that could possibly pick somebody up in the background. Yeah, that's great. What other questions do you guys have? Do you have any questions about like when you should call in? Like what's suspicious, or you're not sure? Yeah. Probably not 911.
I call it in. I call it a non-emergency.
Yeah, it's probably not. Well, yeah, because especially if they're dark, they're not street legal. What if they get hit by a car? What if somebody, or they run over somebody else?
But then again, there's, just trust your gut. Really, you're not trusting. I'm not going to knock on your door later and arrest you for making 911.
Right.
So, it's slow. But I mean, if these guys are busting up and down the street, riding wheelies and acting crazy, call 911. Sure.
Trying to save them before
If
they
they're just out.
hurt themselves or somebody else. Well, and then also they just need to know they can't do that. That's not legal. They can't do that. What other? Yeah.
I did have that bridge. There was people parked on the other side late at night, and then of course under through afterwards. So I finally got tired of it and just started going over there and having a little discussion with the different ones that work there. Eventually they're gone now, but they're camping out somewhere else now.
Probably.
But it's just a lot of activity comes in from that bridge.
Only thing you do that, it's not like walking up to a horse and carry anymore. People carry guns, and if they're here, you might be at the bad end of that procedure. So you got to be really careful.
It's the right group that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I mean the disclosure, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't. If I was at home, deputy at home, and there's a group of homeless dirtbags, whatever, down the street in a big group, I probably wouldn't approach it. I'd make the call. Just make the call.
It's just, they're kind of probably homeless for a reason and congregating together. Drugs, alcohol, mental health. You don't know what, but like most people in society don't live on the street, and so a lot of times they can't be more dangerous. Not everybody, but you never know. Yeah. So, again, say about the Neighborhood Watch program, talking to each other. You can also, we have the Neighborhood Watch signs that we can order, and that we can put them up on your street. And it's just every little deterrent you can do for your house to make somebody look at it and go like, nah, I don't want to look in their backyard. I don't want to look in their garage. I'm not going to break in. It could be you have a camera, or a sign that says you have a camera, or an alarm system, or you have a dog that goes crazy when people are at the door. My dogs do that all the time. What about this? Out here, I don't know this. In rural, do you guys get solicitors out here? I see yes and no. So the thing about this is you don't know who these people are. Are they legit? Are they not? We just try to encourage people. If you want to buy something, go to Amazon, do it yourself. But when people are selling things door to door, you don't know if it's magazines or something. Those people usually come in vans from out of state, and they travel around and try to get you by their subscriptions. Yeah, they're probably they may be legit, but you're giving them your own information, and you don't know who these people are. I know up in Bull Mountain one year there were some people. There was a van with these three guys in it, and so a neighbor watch person called it in because it looked suspicious, just sitting on the side of the road with these guys in it. So the deputy went there to talk to them. They said they were waiting for their buddy who was inside the house demoing a Kirby vacuum. They all worked for Kirby Vacuum, and he was demoing it. Well, then they ran them, and every single person was on parole or probation for drug charges and burglary charges. And they were, yeah, and they all lived in Marion County. So what the heck were they doing up here doing that? I mean, do you want these people in your house? So you just unfortunately, well, yeah, they're working. Unfortunately, you just don't know. And just like I do these personal safety talks for especially women, and we say as much as you want to pull over at night and help the person broken down by the side of the road, you can call for them. You can crack your window and say, "Hey, I'm calling for help for you," but it's not safe to stop and help them. If you're a big guy and you got, you don't feel uncomfortable about it, that's fine. It's the women especially that as much as you want to stop and help, what you can do is call for them. Yeah, because we've had instances out this way a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago actually. But what else? Yes.
Are you allowed to stop them? Sure. You can use whatever force is reasonably necessary. You know, you can use no force, get yourself in a safe location, step out the freaking window because you will consider by your personal safety than your property. There's a lot of options. But yeah, you can, if you feel so inclined, I would never tell somebody to. You can confront them however you can. Remember that. Just keep in mind that they're the bad guy breaking into your home. They're not doing it empty-handed. So.
And that's the thing is like they on drugs? Are they really hyped up? Do they absolutely will they do anything not to go to jail? I mean, they're breaking your house. That's a pretty gutsy kind of person when you're home. So I mean, and it all depends. Are they big, huge people? Is it somebody small? Are they? I mean, it's so different. But think of your own safety first. If you don't have to, if you can get the phone and call 911, do that. Try and get these guys out here to grab that person. You don't want to take the risk confronting them and then they pull a gun or a knife or something because they don't want to go to jail if they're caught. But you absolutely, I mean, you have the right to defend your property, but hopefully people know here too, if someone's breaking your car in the middle of the night, you don't have the right to go out and shoot them. So, I mean, that happens. People do it. They were on my property. We shot them dead.
If somebody enters your home,
that's a different story.
It doesn't give you the right to just kill them. Right. To make that clear.
Right. Yeah, you can't just shoot them dead. They have to be attacking you. Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Probably so.
Yeah. I mean, we honestly play at the same level that you guys do, right? We have to have a legal justification to use whatever force we're using, and that falls to you too. Even though somebody's broke into your home, you are justified in using force if necessary, but it's the if necessary, it's the reasonableness. A guy breaks into your home and he's standing there looking at you and eyes the guy just staring at you. Because we live out in the country, we can't just put three in his chest and call it good. So that's it.
You have to articulate.
Created a really huge problem with that point for yourself, not just the bad guy.
One of the rules used to be out here is never pick a fight with somebody who might be crazier than you are.
Right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You have no idea who some of these guys are.
Right. Yeah. But then
it's just like police officers, the general public as well. You can certainly protect yourself from deadly force by using deadly force. Yeah, and And here's why it's good to say. So, we're in a large square mile area with low population. So we don't have, just honestly, we don't have the type of coverage that the city of Hillsborough has or Bethany has. But it could depend on where the deputies are at when they receive the call. It could be 5, 10 minutes sometimes, which is a long time. And that's all stuff you can take into account, but it certainly could be. We could have a deputy, the nearest West End deputy could have just picked up a call and her on call in Banks when this high priority call comes out in Gaston, and he'll drop what he's doing, get in the car, and trust me, we like to drive fast. We'll do as quick as we can, but it certainly could be a delayed response.
But if they're all already tied up on another priority call, yeah, then it might take a little bit longer. So.
Now, there's intergovernmental agreement with all the agencies.
Yeah.
So it's something high priority here in Gaston. Us, the sheriff's office, the city coordinator, which is the sheriff's office, but still the people working there. The people working for the state troopers.
Maybe Yamhill County.
Yamhill, Carlton, Yamhill County.
Yeah.
They'll
all come.
They get a little delayed. They're on different radio than we are. But if I hit the magic button and something's going bad, we'd have multiple agencies pretty quick, but yet still delayed.
I think I kind of know the answer to this, but if the police force is so far away, does dispatch do anything with the fire department or any other entity that might be able to slow down the action that's happening? Fire department,
If it's a fire, Deputy Dean wants to say something. Oh, all right. What would you say to that question? Burglary. Yeah, they have to wait till the scene is safe before they'll come in.
Yeah. And I could tease them all day long, and I do. About staging, we tease about staging, but at the same time, the house is burning. I'm not running in with the garden hose to put it out before fire gets there. Training and tools, I don't have it. Remember what happened when you set the house on fire, firefighters arrived on scene.
Yeah.
Well, Hillsborough had that a few years ago.
Yeah.
This is becoming something that's becoming
Like the school shootings. Yeah. Crazy.
It's not uncommon that force choices.
Oh. Yeah, they're closer.
Yeah.
They can be closer. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and that's
They help out a lot.
Everybody helps each other out.
Yeah, the city of Fort Smith, from there, and they won't think twice. It's part of the call. Their guys are going to be flying, and that's a quick trip at 100 miles an hour, depending on the weather and the traffic. That's a quick trip. Come in like 20 minutes, 35 miles.
What other questions do you guys have? Yeah.
Is there much communication between Washington County and Yamhill County since this is kind of a border town?
Right. So now I can't think about before. I can tell you 15 years in the sheriff's office. I probably prior to me coming out to Gaston, I almost said Banks. I had no communication with them. But now, there's quite a bit. In fact, a whole bunch of this park route thing, we keep talking about it, but the suspects were out of McMinnville. Part of what they did after they hit Gaston, they hit Cove Orchard and Carlton. So dealing with them, they have my info, I have their info. So I have been communicating quite a bit with them.
Same thing, yeah, with burglaries and stuff.
Yeah.
They detectives.
That's the low priority stuff. The high priority stuff when it hits, because they're set up. This job, they're a mirror image of us, right? As we go down south towards Casper, we get into our rural, well, as they get north towards Yamhill, Carlson, and up into the Gaston, the post office, basically, is they're super rural as well. So a lot of times, I don't know if it is sort of avenue, Yamhill County deputies in the area, but if needed, we contact them straight away and try and get one coming. And I know, no, never mind. Wrong town. I was going to give you an example where it wasn't.
Well, it's about 8 o'clock, and we try to not keep people here longer than an hour if we don't have to. We are more than welcome. I mean, we'll be here for a little bit. If you have questions or want to talk to us afterwards, there's those resources on the back table. And so just so you know, we have the neighborhood watch or the Washington County. There's lots of news. That's it. Home security inspection. This is something if you want, you can walk your house and property. Just gives you ideas. You don't have to do every single thing on here. You don't have to abide by everything. Just gives you ideas of things to look at to make your property safer. This is some information about public alerts and how to set yourself up for them, so that when major things happen, you can get a flash alert on your phone. And then for those of you that wanted to try and start a neighborhood watch in your neighborhood, we've got these little packets here of information. And again, this is just kind of a resource. It's got ideas here. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do anything in here if you don't want to. You make it what you want it, but it just gives you some ideas of what you can do. So, Steve, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Well, one thing that, no matter how small it is, you call it in, it might be the piece that he needs to put together a case.
Yes.
So, I always tell people, if it was suspicious to you, it's going to be suspicious to us. If you know your neighborhood, give it a call.
Absolutely. Good.
And I really want to know if you were finally get your dog to confess what he did.
What? Oh.
And let's use this back. If you see me driving around town and you flag me down, I'm not going to drive by and go, call this back. You know, I'll stop and have a conversation with you. But,
Call dispatch. We used to have a.
If I'm parked in front of City Hall, you suddenly come in City Hall. From the City Hall, it's all through the church office. You know, don't be afraid. People, like you said, people tell me all the time. Well, I don't know.
Right.
Busy. I'm not busy. I promise you. I have plenty of time down here. Luckily, this town is pretty quiet compared to what I'm used to, so I have time to do things. Use me.
Plus, you have to think there is one deputy for about every 1,200 people. So we rely on you guys to be the eyes and ears. He can't possibly be everywhere, and you guys are there. So you are his eyes and ears.
I think it's all that are in town. 700 roughly in town.
Okay, well, you guys are his eyes and ears, so he needs to hear from you. So, I was just saying, we used to have this graffiti hotline thing that you could call report graffiti, and I came in on a Monday morning, and I get a message from Friday night. This person going, "Hey, I'm watching some guys graffiti offense right now," and I'm like, "What am I gonna do?" It's Monday morning, and they were watching him do it Friday night, and I'm like, "Call dispatch." If there's nothing else, anything else you wanna share, Deputy Richards?
Nope.
Oh, okay, we're good. We'll be here, hang around a little bit. Feel free to chat with us. Eat the cookies, the stuff they put out. Pick up the there's also pens and blinky lights.